Today's horror story dubbed in narration is a Grim Fairytale from the EC Comics. If you enjoy the story, please do not hesitate to like, comment, hype, and subscribe. Anyways, without further ado, right into this tale. Once upon a time, long ago, there was a tiny kingdom. But this tiny kingdom was an unhappy tiny kingdom. For this particular tiny kingdom was overrun with rats. It was so overrun with rats that the people of this tiny kingdom had to carry sticks when they went out of their houses.
Daddy, I'm afraid of the rats.
Don't be afraid of them, my son. I will keep you from harm.
There were all kinds of rats. There were brown rats, and gray rats, and grayish-brown rats, and brownish-gray rats. They invaded the streets, the shops, the houses. They ate the people's garbage, the people's food, and the people. Finally, the people of the kingdom couldn't stand it any longer. They decided to kill off the rat population, destroy them, so one day, they all armed themselves with sticks, brooms, anything usable as a weapon, and they started killing off the rats. They killed off the gray rats, and brown rats, and grayish-brown rats, and brownish-gray rats. They killed off the rats that invaded the streets and ate the people's garbage, the rats that invaded the shops and ate the people's food, and the rats that invaded the houses and ate the people. Now it seems that this tiny kingdom was governed by a pompous king and his pompous queen. They lived in a pompous castle, surrounded by a pompous moat. Gray rats couldn't cross the moat. Brown rats couldn't cross the moat. Grayish-brown rats couldn't cross the moat, and neither could the brownish-gray rats cross the moat. So, the pompous king and the pompous queen in their pompous castle surrounded by the pompous moat had no rat problem. In fact, the only problem the pompous queen had was what to do next for her little pet white mice.
Aren't they cute, Siegfried? I had these diamond collars made just for them.
Very cute, Gwendolyn.
The pompous queen loved her pet white mice. She kept them in diamond-studded gold cages. She fed them from a diamond-studded gold feeding tray. She dressed them in diamond-studded gold collars. There wasn't anything those little white mice lacked.
Coochie coochie, you little darlings. Here, sweets, some roast peasant.
Gwendolyn, come eat.
And then, one day, the pompous king and the pompous queen learned from their pompous Lord High Advisor and Legal Eagle that the populace had almost conquered the rat situation.
They are killing them off with their bare hands. It's amazing. Amazing?
No, they mustn't.
Why not, Gwendolyn dear? The rats are a problem.
Rats are related to mice, Siegfried. I love my white mice, so I love their cousins too. I forbid the people to kill the rats. It's cruel. I forbid it.
And so, an edict was read all over the tiny kingdom.
Therefore, by order of Queen Gwendolyn and King Siegfried, it is a criminal offense to kill, mutilate, harm, or annoy any rat in this kingdom. Violators will be prosecuted, punishable by fine, imprisonment, or both. Article 69, Section 8, Penal Law, Kingdom of.
The killing of the rats was halted. Soon, they once again began to overrun the tiny kingdom. Once again, they began to eat the people's garbage, the people's food, and the people.
My baby!
And once again, the people couldn't stand it no longer, but this time, they weren't allowed to kill the rats.
What happened to him?
He's been taken to prison.
He killed a rat.
And the rat situation got worse than ever.
Ooh, we're starving. The rats eat all the food.
The king and queen won't let us kill the rats. They love rats.
And the people got angrier and angrier.
We've got to do something.
Follow me.
To the castle.
The crowd grew larger as it moved through the streets.
To the castle. To the rat lovers.
Come on.
The people were shouting and yelling as they neared the castle. Someone swam the moat and let the drawbridge down, and the crowd scampered across. The pompous king and the pompous queen were surrounded in their pompous throne room by the angry mob.
Go home. Go back to your houses.
Seize them.
The angry crowd seized the pompous king and the pompous queen.
Stop! Stop!
Bring the rats.
Someone came forward with a cage. Inside were two half-starved, vicious-looking rats.
Here they are.
One live rat was forced into the pompous king's mouth and down his throat. The other rat was forced into the pompous queen's mouth and down her throat. Then their pompous royal mouths were sewn shut. And the crowd cheered as little by little the hungry, half-starved rats ate their way out of the pompous king and the pompous queen. After that, the people of the tiny kingdom killed off the other rats and lived happily ever after. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'd like to take this time to give a very special thanks to my Patreons and YouTube members. The Last Sin Eater, Motosurf, Leo, Minue, Kago, Louise V, and Lady Scare. Thank you so much everyone, and remember, you're important and you matter. Have a great night everyone. Goodbye.